Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Highlander News.
Broadcasting live from the Highlands News Studio in Fort Thomas, Kentucky.
I'm Ben Rosensteel.
And I'm Kat Finsett.
President Donald Trump promised during the campaign to limit illegal immigration. Now he wants to fulfill that promise by ending the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program. We have more on how this affects students across the nation.
Good morning. I'm here today to announce that the program known as DACA that was effectuated under the Obama administration is being rescinded.
DACA is the immigration plan that was created under the Obama administration to give kids that immigrated to the United States a chance to become a citizen. We talked to a government teacher here at Highlands to find out more.
Essentially, he has asked Congress to pass a bill that would continue that program, and if they don't continue it or don't pass a bill within 6 months, then the program is going to be eliminated. And the big question is whether or not Congress will pass something, and if they don't pass anything, will then President Trump just continue the program or defund the program or eliminate the program?
Because of this, there are many protests around the country.
Tonight, sound and fury, with protesters storming major cities all across the country, outraged after the...
Other people believe that only actual United States citizens should be allowed into our country. Pope Francis has entered the DACA debate, and he believes it should be extended.
Staccare I giovani prima dalla famiglia non è una cosa che dà un buon frutto né per I giovani né per la famiglia. È come se un bravo pro-life capisce che la famiglia è la culla della vita e si deve difendere l'unità. Mi viene per questo io ho interesse in studiare bene quella legge, no?
We went around and talked to some of the students to see how they feel about President Trump ending DACA.
I know my mom personally, she's an immigrant. She's also not a citizen, but that does not mean that she's not just as hardworking and contributing to our economy.
My thoughts on DACA is that there should be changes within the program and that less immigrants should be allowed in through that program because it's a cheap way for them to enter the U.S. However, there are some benefits as young kids do have the ability to explore and have the freedoms that many American citizens enjoy today.
I think ending DACA is a bad thing because the people who are supported by DACA will be sent back to their countries where they don't know anything about it. And they've been living the American dream, quote unquote, and they don't know anything about their countries and they're going to get sent back. So I do not support what Trump is doing.
It's great to hear about differing perspectives here at Highlands.
Fall sports are in full swing. What can you tell us, Jack?
Thanks, Kat. Fall sports are continuing with excellence. Both soccer teams are performing well as their regular seasons near the end. As for the women's soccer team, they have a record of 8 wins and 3 losses, with 1 tie against West Jessamine. They played their final game of the season this past Monday against Notre Dame and are on their way to the playoffs. Congratulations, ladies, on a great season. The boys soccer team was victorious against our crosstown rival Newcath. They play again at home tomorrow at 3 p.m. against Henry Clay. Come out and support your Bluebirds. The girls cross country team recently won the Mason Invitational. The top runners for that meet from Highlands were Maggie Schroeder, Alyssa Campbell, and Brianna Collins. They're still #1 in their division and are on their way to state. Keep up the great work, girls. As for the boys, they have made a complete turnaround from last season. They are currently ranked 7th and are hoping to make it to top 5 by the end of the season. The boys team consistently are dropping their 5K times and are hoping to get faster, with runners like Will Griffith and top 7th grade runner Sam Hopper running a low 18. They're hoping for a great state run this November. The volleyball team is currently 13-7 overall and 1-1 for district play. Good luck, girls, on the rest of your season. The Highlands dance team is continuing to practice for their tournaments this winter. I am looking forward to see what they bring in the future. The cheer team is continuing to cheer on our Bluebirds and are practicing for their competitions so they can make it to nationals in Orlando this winter. The women's golf team placed 3rd at conference in their division and began to compete in region. As for the men's golf team, they only lost 1 match this season. They were runner-up in the region and are playing in the state tournament next Monday and Tuesday. Great job, boys, on an excellent season, and good luck next week at state. The football team has had a rough season thus far. They lost a nail-biting game last Friday against Simon Kenton. The team currently has 2 wins and are on a 4-game losing streak. They hope to end that streak next Friday against the Dixie Colonels at senior night. There's no home game tonight, but you can still catch some football action at our annual Powder Puff football game where the returning senior champions will be taking on the junior girls. Come out and support your classmates. The game starts at 7 p.m. Admission is $5. Passes are not accepted. Our football players do a lot of work out on the field, but behind the scenes, our news broadcasting program also puts in countless hours. Cole has more.
For those of you who attend Highlands home football games, you all know how exciting the production is with the different graphics and videos on the Jumbotron. But what most people don't know about is the work behind the scenes making it all possible. We got a closer look into what really happens behind the Highlands football broadcasting. Starting off in the press box, we have the announcer who states the play-by-plays.
We come early before every football game in order to have dinner, which is pizza and soft drinks, and it's a really good bonding time and creates a lot of memories with the people we work with.
Helping her out is the press box liaison, who talks to the announcers, providing a connection between them and the studio in the high school.
About 15 to 20 of us all go to our separate positions on the field, in the high school, or in the press box. And then we all do our own jobs to make a great production.
In the next room over, there is a streaming director who controls the stream's audio levels and troubleshoots any problems that arise. Along with that comes the stream announcers who tell the play-by-plays to the audiences watching at home.
I've learned a lot about football. I've learned a lot about the community and how we tend to rally around things. It's just been an amazing experience, and I've gotten to know everybody so much better.
The actual visuals of the game take more than some may think as well. On top of the press box, we have a camera person who has a full view of the field at all times. On the actual field, we have 2 or 3 cameramen getting up close and personal shots, usually one at each end zone.
When you're a cameraman, you always have somebody with you to protect you from being hit, because like you're just looking through the little camera lens, but then like football player gonna come up and smash you, you know? So like you gotta have somebody there to like pull you back. You're really up close to the game. You can like hear people yelling and stuff. It's really fun. Looks like you're basically watching like the NFL, you know? It's like really professional stuff.
Anchors on the field and in the studio are very important parts of this production as well. Those on the field can interview students in the O-Zone and people participating in special events in that week's game. Up in the newsroom, the 2 anchors give pregame introductions, halftime recaps, and postgame wrap-ups.
Friday nights, I'm typically up here in the studio doing the post-game show, halftime show, but I also get to go down and do sideline interviews and a bunch of cool stuff on the field. What's fun about this is I get to be creative and I get to do my own kind of thing. I make all the scripts for the game and all the shows and all that, and so I kind of get to show who I am as an announcer, as well as just getting to practice what I love doing.
Behind the scenes, in the studio, we have many key roles to putting this production together. An audio person makes sure the volume to the stadium sounds decent. In addition, someone on playback controls the graphics such as the advertisements, intro videos, and the touchdown video. The director chooses what gets played on the Jumbotron, such as camera shots, advertisements, and graphics. They also direct everyone else in their roles to make sure everything is running smoothly.
So I've been doing this since my sophomore year. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic to sit here and juggle all these camera feeds while listening to everybody on the headsets. I think it's really fun to get to mess around before the game and after the game while we're setting up, while pulling off an amazing show for the audience out there.
Without these incredible students willing to put their time every Friday to put this production on, the football games just wouldn't be the same.
Thanks, Cole. I know I always have a blast doing camera for Football Fridays. We're really lucky here in Fort Thomas, but others around the globe are less fortunate. A week ago, Mexico City was struck by a devastating earthquake. Ben has more.
In the early morning of September 20th, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit Mexico. As of Monday, 318 people are dead, and the number is still rising. Emergency responders are continuing to search for survivors among the devastating rubble. Flashback 32 years ago to 1985. An 8.0 magnitude quake, the worst in recent Mexican history, strikes the heart of Mexico City, killing approximately 10,000 and injuring thousands more. Now, only weeks ago, 90 people were killed due to a massive 8.1 earthquake off of the southern coast of Mexico. Still struggling to recover from that quake, tragedy struck a second time last week. Places including Puebla and Morelos faced the worst of the quake, as over 100 people have died in these states alone. Buildings have collapsed everywhere, including Enrique Rebsamen School, where 21 children and 4 adults have died, and even more are still missing inside of the rubble. Some of the most heartbreaking stories have come out of these school collapses. Families have waited with bated breath for any sign of their sons and daughters trapped inside of the rubble. One such family, that of Jose Eduardo Huerta Rodriguez, stood outside of the rubble for hours. Their son, who had just celebrated his 9th birthday the week prior, had not been found yet. The family looked through handwritten lists of survivors for the little boy's name. Around 10 p.m. local time, Jose's mother received a call saying that Jose did not make it, and he was dead when they rescued him. Following the aftermath of the earthquake, Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto addressed the nation, saying they were facing a new national emergency. Nieto later visited the small town of Jalta in Morelos, where hundreds of buildings and homes had been destroyed. Volunteers worked tirelessly to find survivors in the rubble. During times of struggle, when the future isn't certain, it's important to help those who can't help themselves, to lend a hand for those who are down, so that they can find the strength to stand back up again. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected, and if you want to help, you can donate online to the Mexican Red Cross. That's it for this edition of the Highlander News. I'm Ben Rosenstiel.
And I'm Kat Finsett. Have an awesome weekend, Highlands.